Hello everyone, my name is Kill Chicken. I am back with another video. Today we're going to be reviewing another good old LEGO Star Wars 20th anniversary set. This is set number 75261, Clone Scout Walker 20th anniversary edition. This has 250 pieces and retails for, I believe, $30? I could be wrong. I might check back on that later, but I'm really not that excited about this set. I think, call me crazy, but I believe the main reason why I got this was for the Darth Vader minifigure, because I have one of the newer versions of Darth Vader, but I think it would be awesome to have an older version too. So basically, it's got a Wookie Warrior, a Kashyyyk Trooper, which technically is not the trooper who's supposed to drive this. Like, there's an actual trooper who is actually the pilot of one of these AT-RTs, and it has a battle droid, which isn't the Kashyyyk version, which they introduced in some of the new Kashyyyk sets, so that's kind of a sad thing. Like I've mentioned before, the box art is amazing, just kind of with this silver outline going all the way around, with this silver thing right here, and this little kind of old style looking logo right here, and the stars in the background. Coming around to the back, you see you've got all these other minifigures in the other sets that are from a long time ago. They're not all from 1999, but some of them just weren't made then. And then over here in the corner, you see the set that it's kind of supposed to be succeeding, I guess, because it's kind of an updated version of that old one. And yeah, just some other angles and looks of the set and some of the play features that I will discuss later on. So yeah, I'm gonna build this up and then we can review it. So like last time, the instruction book actually does have some very nice stuff in it. As you can see at the front, you've got the QR code that you can scan to get the digital version of the instruction book on the app. The front is basically just the box art on the instruction book. And then when you come in, it has some of the information right here. It says like 20 years ago, they started making sets based off of the vehicles in the movie. And then 20 years later, today, they decided to remake some of those for today's sets. Right here, they've got the set information for both of the sets, the 2005 version and then the 2019 version. As you can see, a drastic difference between those two. Right here, they have like the other minifigures that come with the other 20th anniversary sets, and some information on the 1999 Darth Vader minifigure. And then over here, they have some information on the Battle of Kashyyyk. There's some actual realistic looking picture of the battle and just some information over there. So yeah, as you can see, just a regular instruction book. Once you get to the back, you've got piece count, then the ad for the new action and attack sets, so the minifigures in those sets, and LEGO Life. Here's the set itself all built up, but first let's take a close look at those minifigures. So starting off with the 1999 Darth Vader, as you can see, it looks pretty much exactly like the figure. You've got the red lightsaber and even a papery kind of styled cape. It's actually a little bit softer than the older style, but they did this just to make it a lot more like how the minifigure would be back in 1999, since they didn't have the more spongy or silky version that they do nowadays. The one thing that separates him from the actual minifigure is on the back, they have 20 years of LEGO Star Wars printed. I'm glad that that's not on the back slapped on the cape, or else that would have been very disappointing. So for all you can see, it's basically just a really old Darth Vader minifigure, which is great. But I'm happy that they did that, just so it doesn't disappoint some people that maybe have the actual 1999 Darth Vader, and they might be kind of disappointed if LEGO went and made an exact replica of that, just probably taking away some of the value of that minifigure. But as you can see, he's got some nice torso printing with that kind of technical stuff on his chest, and sadly he does not have a chrome hilt lightsaber. It's just a kind of more blunt or semi-chrome, as I like to call it, which is kind of too bad. But underneath his great-looking helmet, you've got the really old-looking Darth Vader head, which looks really funny. It does not have any printing on the back of the head, just on the front. So yeah, that's a pretty great minifigure, and let's move on. Here's his plaque that says 20 years of LEGO Star Wars 1999 to 2019. Has his name, Darth Vader, printed right here. This is all a print, so that's very nice. It's a overall really good plaque. One thing I would change is put a couple of 1x2 stacked right here so that when you connect them, it doesn't push down on this and maybe make that just fall off, and then you have to put your fingers under here and press it back up so that it would connect. I feel like that would have been greater. It would have been a better thing, because then you could have just, you'd be able to just connect it right on top of it without the fear of it being pushed down. Next up, we have a Kashyyyk kind of scout-looking trooper. He's got a different-looking helmet. It's not like the Phase 2, but has the kind of visor up here. I really like the look of this, even though it's not accurate to the pilot who would be actually piloting the AT-RT, but it's still a cool minifigure to get. I love the camouflage printing on his helmet and his torso and a little bit on his legs. And I think this is pretty much the same as, I believe it was the 2016 Kashyyyk sets, so I don't think there's any differences, if not any minor ones. And as you can see, he's got some great torso printing going down to the hip area, which is a little bit off printing. Sometimes that happens, which is a little bit disappointing. And then it also goes down to his legs, which is great. And then underneath, as you can see, it's got the angry clone head. It'd be great to get a new one, or at least various different kinds instead of the same thing over and over again. He's got a cool looking blaster instead of a stud shooter, which is always good to see. So yeah, that's pretty much all with him. Let's move on. Next, we have a Wookie Warrior. This is not Chewbacca, this is just a Wookie. As you can see, his main kind of body mold is different because it doesn't have those little things that cross over his chest. And so yeah, it's pretty much just a normal Wookie. It's got some great printing on the face with a different color of brown, just to add some more texture to it. Also coming down to his legs, it's actually kind of funny. Whenever you get a Wookie, you just get this kind of blank, dark brown torso, which is always kind of cool to get. You've got almost this kind of pirate kind of gun. Okay, I guess it's fine. I mean, I don't really recall the kind of weapons that Wookiees used, but whatever, it's cool. So yeah, fun minifigure to get. And then also a fun minifigure to get is this battle droid, but sadly it's not a Kashyyyk battle droid, which was just made for the earlier Kashyyyk sets. So I don't know why they would do that. I feel like that would also really help towards the $30 price, because if you give us some nice minifigures, then we're not gonna really complain about any priciness to the set. But they didn't. They just gave us this normal droid, which is it's fine, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. He has also got this nice blaster instead of a stud shooter. So yeah, that's pretty much all with the minifigures. Let's move on to the actual set. Kind of the smallest part, the smallest build of the set is this. It's almost like a trench. It's got like a mound of dirt around here, and then you've got this cool little turret gun right here. You've got like two shields right here, and then the sniper version of the blaster, which I believe is now probably being used as more of an automatic weapon. I can definitely see this build, this like particular build right here, being used in mocks just because of how good it looks. The one thing wrong with these little rock pieces is that they always tend to move around, so if you're going to use this, you should probably like put it on a plate or something and somehow find a way to keep them all like kind of like this. I think this is the preferred or the standard way to use it, and you're able to take your Wookiee minifigure and have him manning this turret, which looks really good. It looks a lot more detailed than what we usually get from a Star Wars set. Coming up next for the more bigger, smaller part of the set is this mini spider droid. I know a lot of people don't really like this character, but I've never had one of these guys before, so I'm actually pretty satisfied with him. I'm not very big on the stud shooter right here for his kind of his nose piece, but yeah, that fires off like so. And he's got some great little builds for his legs using these actually droid torsos. He's got this translucent 2x2 cylinder piece down there just to keep him standing up so that he doesn't flatten out. I I really like the part usage with the telephone for the eyes right there, and I really like this piece back here, how it kind of just like swivels around in there. And also, it's great to see the fencing sword used as his antenna. So yeah, pretty great build. And now for the main build, which is the ATRT, or just the Scout Walker. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as the 501st Walker, which I happen to have. It's basically just a bunch of part swaps and very minor changes in the build techniques. As you can see, they actually like use the same little spout here for the gun, just with a stud shooter on the bottom, which again is kind of, it's kind of well integrated into the set. It's not as noticeable. That's gone. Wow. As noticeable as stud shooters tend to be, but I mean, it's kind of disappointing seeing how this was many years after this one, and it still is the basic same build for an ATRT. Like, even the feet are pretty much exactly the same. There are a few different things on like the toes, but it's pretty much just the same with like different colors for the parts. Like, look, the legs look almost exactly the same. They use the same little Technic pieces over here to make it look like the legs are more flexible than they actually are, which is kind of disappointing. And I think one of the main differences is probably the front part. You've got these kind of bigger panel pieces, and this one is skinnier, probably a little bit more accurate. And yeah, the antennas on the back are actually a little bit different. This one has the actual antenna piece that goes up way higher, and I think they did a better job with the antennas on here. But sadly, on the back, as you can see, they use this one piece that you're able to stick the actual blaster in here to carry it, while your 501st Trooper sits on right here. But then they don't have that on the back here for the Scout Trooper. So that's a little bit disappointing. Normally they do have that kind of thing for a set. But now, making it less of a comparison video, as you can see, you've got some great sticker detail on the front here, some nice kind of angled pieces back here to make up the front of the build, and then on the back here, you've got some nice grille detail, and right here, they have, of course, again, the highly appreciated 2-stud connection. That way it's not as much of a yank or a pull to get the minifigure off after he's been connected, and the other 2 studs are just being filled by this grill piece. So yeah, that's always nice to see. And yeah, the legs move around pretty well. Just there's not a lot of posability that you can get in this guy, because a lot of times he just falls over when you try to do something. He really can't pose that much, and once you brought it up this far, it can't go any farther. Like, it won't. So I've never really liked the amount of posability in these ATRTs, and I feel like they should probably do something a little different and try to figure out a new style build for the ATRT in the future. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all for this build. There's definitely not a lot to discuss, but yeah, let's head on out to the end of the video. So I definitely think that this set could have used some minor upgrades, but mainly when it comes to price, I think you get a good amount of stuff. Like, first of all, you get 250 pieces, which is about a $25 price. But then you get also this very authentic looking $19.99 Darth Vader, which probably cost a little bit to update, and then you've also got these great prints for the 20 years, and yeah, it's an extra minifigure, which a lot of times minifigures cost up to like $3. So the $30 price point on this makes plenty of sense. And you do get quite a bit of things. You get this walker, this little trench thing, you get the droid, and then the Darth Vader, and then you get all the minifigures as well. So the price definitely is not a problem for me, but I definitely feel like they could have used a lot more upgrades in this, seeing how the 501st is basically the same thing, just in a blue color scheme instead of this kind of sand green color. So I definitely think this could have used some upgrades, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with what I got. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you found it helpful, maybe I helped you decide whether or not you want to buy this, be sure to leave a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on this set. If you enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe, and if you want to stay up to date, be sure to click the bell icon to get a notification every time I post a video. I should be getting a endgame review pretty soon after this one, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.